Welcome back to another one of my videos. As always, I find these stories that I read to you from different subreddits on the Reddit website. And I always leave a link in the description. So that way, instead of watching gameplay through the video, you can read along if you would like to. That said, let's get into the video. A sharp pang of fear pierced my heart, and I frantically looked for a place to hide. There was a man's voice speaking and growing louder. I could make out his heavy footsteps as he approached, and a faint, eerie yellow light swayed in the fog. I took a step back, and then another, and bumped into a large wooden crate. I quickly went to hide behind it, and saw there was just a sliver of dock left to sit on, before it ended and dark water splashed below. As quickly and carefully as I could, I slipped behind the box and squatted down. The sound of the voice grew closer, and the light from his lantern crept closer and closer to where I hid. I covered my mouth with my hands, stifling a cry as my left foot slipped on the wet wood and almost sent me falling to my death. I could make out now what the man was saying. Instead of speaking now, he was singing. His voice was deep and wet, almost like a drowned man with lungs full of water. He walked slowly, jerking his way forward, causing the lantern in his hands to sway sharply from side to side. The light from it threatened to expose me, but would pull back at just the last second. I wanted to cover my ears, shield myself from the cursed voice that came from his lips, but I couldn't. I was frozen in fear, and forced to listen to his song. Day by day, year by year, I can never leave. Although it calls, I cannot answer, for I am trapped here. Here I walk, here I stay, while the sailors sail away. The dock needs a master, and that master is me. I shall never, ever be free. To those that hear my haunting song, you too are cursed to always long. Long for the sea, long for the waves, long to see the day. The night is endless and the water deep, so to those that listen, forever weep. I could feel tears rolling down my cheeks and urine running down my legs. A deep primal fear was taking over my body, and my mind fought over running or hiding. My breath was harsh and loud, and I could hear my heartbeat pounding in my ears. Suddenly, the song stopped. Everything was quiet. All I could hear were the crashing waves in my frantic heart. The light of the lantern was gone, and the fog swirled in the silver moonlight. Slowly, I looked up from the rotten boards. Above my head, peering over the wooden crate, was a face that would forever haunt me. The skin was gray and splotchy, swollen with the seawater. It had a large, unkempt beard that appeared black in the dim light. Small crabs and crustaceans I had never seen before skitter in and out of the wild hair, crawling all over the dead skin and plucking bits of flesh with their pincers and claws. The face had no eyes. Black sockets stared blankly at me. Gray goo seeped from the sockets, pouring down its cheeks. A bandana held together by strands of fabric was tied around its head, concealing any hair it might have had. The left ear was gone, and I gagged as a long centipede-like creature crawled out of the hole where the ear should have been. Child, do you hear the call? As it spoke, water poured from its mouth and splattered across my face. The smell was rancid and congealed and muck matted into my hair. Suddenly, a long gray arm grabbed the back of my shirt and yanked me upwards. My feet dangled and kicked wildly before the thing set me down on my feet beside it. Now standing on the dock, the thought of escape flashed through my mind, until I realized it was still holding on to my shoulder. In its other hand was a crooked lantern, hardly in the state to give off any light. It was smashed in the center, as if someone had stomped on it as hard as they could. The metal was bent and rusty, barely holding together. Inside, a dull yellow light flickered, but there was no candle. "Are you listening to me?" the thing screamed, sinking its blackened nails into my shoulder. I cried out in pain, fresh tears coming to my eyes. "Do you hear the call?" it said through rotten teeth. The smell coming from its mouth was that of death and seawater. My throat was clenched shut, so all I could do was shake my head violently. The thing seemed to relax and let go of its grip on me. As soon as its hand dropped away from me, I was running. I heard no sound of pursuit, but on I ran. Through the dense fog, through the empty streets, up the hill, and straight through the door to my home. My mother sat by the fire, awake and knitting shakily. As soon as I burst through the door, she threw down her needles and swept me into her arms. She caressed my head against her chest, enveloping me in her warmth. I wrapped my arms around her, sobbing into her chest. I had seen what my father had, only I got away. I'm still haunted by that night, and every night since I've heard his song. It calls me, but I refuse to go. The sea is a cursed place and sings to those who listen. But there are some who will not or cannot answer. I am old now, and my will is weakening. Soon I will not be able to resist. The only question is, will it let me go, or will I be forced to stay, listening to its song forever and always? Day by day, year by year, I can never leave. Although it calls, I cannot answer, for I am trapped here. Here I walk, here I stay, while the sailors sail away. The dock needs a master, and that master is me. I shall never, ever be free. To those that hear my haunting song, you too are cursed, to always long. Long for the sea, long for the waves, long to see the day. The night is endless, and the water deep, so to those that listen, forever weep. If you liked that video, then like the video. If you're going to bed soon, sweet dreams. And if you have a full day ahead of you, I hope it goes well. Thank you for taking your time to spend on watching one of my videos on my channel, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao.